welcome to the Forsaken, our Monday night D&D 5e homebrew campaign here on Maverick.
We've had a really fun conversation. Let's talk to you.
It was a really great.
This is our 50th episode. Everyone's a little wound up.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, welcome chat, welcome players. Let's dive right into this. So a little summary from last week's episode. Our adventurers journeyed deeper into the forest that borders the now fallen Lysadere, working their way through tangled vines, monstrous low branches, and stumbling roots. Renarius fell behind the group, heeding to whispered warnings of compromised safety, and that those with him possibly posed a great danger to him. Meanwhile, Jurble began feeling the ill effect of a strong Shiga presence, as the rest tried to coax Renarius to their position. While they were doing that, a guttural growl and a mossy, decaying creature steps out of the thick foliage, roaring at the now slightly split party. They make quick work of it, however, but not before the beast exudes a poisonous cloud into the atmosphere. After defeating it, the group noticed an axe sticking out of the creature's, what remained of the creature, a bunch of vines and decaying foliage. Pixarin being the one to scoop it up, giving it to Jurble to keep on his belt for her. As they navigate through the last part of the forest, the voices begin again, but this time they accompanied a visual spectacle. Forms, seemingly mages, running from other forms who seemed to be soldiers. They moved through and around the group, possibly playing out something from long ago. When it was over, the group continued on, soon after running into some interesting yet kind of threatening balls of light, who seemed resistant to most of their attacks. But after a few frustrating rounds, they were able to move on, seemingly and hopefully, towards the forest exit and closer to their goal of finding the wizard they were seeking. So now, on to what's going to happen this week. So, we did have 2 battles last week. So I don't even have the battle map.
Let's just gloss over that.
Here, right. So we ended last week with y'all finishing up your battle with the balls of light that you fought, and I think I said after the battle, a couple of you had rolled well on a perception check and noticed that there was some kind of light coming through. So far the forest had been very thick, a lot of low-lying branches, a lot of thick foliage, a lot of roots that were hard to navigate around. And as a couple of you looked ahead, you noticed it seems like maybe you can see a little bit of a clearing through a few of the trees. You can't tell if it leads out into, what you would expect of Lysadere being ruins, or if it leads out into a field. You just see some light that you can move towards if you choose to. Do y'all kind of get your horses and move towards the light?
Yes.
All right.
I want to summon my owl and just send him 100 feet in the air, see if I can see above the canopy.
Okay, all right. I am just fixing this, getting a nameplate for Pixarin here. There we go. Oh, well, y'all can see that. There you go. I just did that one stream. Y'all get to see the behind-the-scenes workings of OBS. Okay, so... so you're sending your owl up, Renarius, to kind of take a look through the clearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or up in the air, just to get a bird's eye view of the area.
It's a little bit difficult without going through that opening to see what's out there, because the trees are pretty high. They're pretty thick. It would be hard for the owl to kind of fight through that.
Okay.
But it can fly over to where there's that opening and see a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that then.
Okay. All right. So Renarius, as you see through your owl's eyes, and the owl flies through the opening in the forest, it comes out into it's still forest, but not as overgrown and as it's a little bit clearer. There's a little bit more kind of like spacing between the trees. The trees aren't as like as big. And it's a little bit of a smaller clearing. It kind of reminds you of the clearing that you kind of ran into with the balls of light from before. But you do kind of notice some sun kind of coming through the trees above, whereas that's something you haven't seen pretty much this entire forest. And also it's been, raining. You don't feel the rain now, and your owl doesn't see any rain as it's going through this clearing. But what your owl also notices is that there are... roll a perception check for your owl first, please.
Boop-a-doo-boop-boo-doo-doo-doo. Ooh, that's a 6.
Okay.
Oh, wait, but he has advantage.
Okay.
Because owl. It's a 12.
Okay. Yeah, the owl notices a bit of movement in the clearing ahead, like in some of the bushes that are around the trees.
All right, I will signal that to the party. It looks more open ahead, but the owl sees some movement.
Stands up.
Right.
Enemies?
Maybe. I don't know, but we should be prepared.
Be prepared.
How far off are
We can't right now.
Teagle asked for an areas. How far off did they see the movement?
They would have been, well, I mean, the movement would have been from, like, the opening that the owl flew through, probably about 15 feet.
Okay.
20, maybe?
So, I will relay that.
All right.
And noticed it in a couple of different directions, too, in that little small clearing.
All right. And she'll... okay. She'll go in the... Which way?
What if we send old Sneaky Boy, points at Tegan, and send him over there first?
Sneaky boy.
Oh, my bad. I'm not... Okay.
I mean, just, I'm still, a bit rattled from the things.
Tegan will dismount his horse, sort of hand the reins to Jurble. Hold Sneaky Boy's horse. I'll be right back.
I mean, that's what he is, right? I mean, right? That's your affirmation from everybody.
Yes, I will stealthily, as best I can, move towards where different areas indicates the movement was and see if I can discern what is going on.
Okay. All right. So, Tegan, you roll a are you trying to do so stealthily, I assume?
Yes,
correct?
I am.
So, roll me a stealth check, please.
Certainly. Nat
Silver's
20.
just like, that can be stealthy too.
For a total of 30.
Okay.
30.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It's a nat 20.
Even the rest of you, as you watch Tegan sneak towards this clearing, you don't. Suddenly, you're like, wait, where'd he go? Where? So Tegan, you kind of go through this, kind of enter into this clearing and see the same thing as I described with the owl to Rhaenyra. And as you kind of, craftily, sneak in and kind of stay close to the trees, and kind of, get behind a couple of bushes, you see a couple of them move. If you want to make a perception check for me to see if you
Sure.
can notice anything specifically.
13. 8 plus 5.
Okay. You see the movement.
Do I see? Did I hear? I see bushes moving.
Yes, across the way. Like you're kind of like staying where you are, kind of against the tree line. There's a few like, and this is a small little clearing, so you have about 30 feet, and until that there are some more trees, and it kind of is like in kind of a haphazard circle. This clearing is, and you see some of the foliage moving on the other side. One here, like right across from you, and one on the other side too. Like something's moving inside of it is what I mean, or behind it.
I think it'll pick up a rock
Okay.
and throw it to like the far edge of the clearing to see how they react to it.
All right. Cool. All right. So you pick up a small rock, I assume? Like
Yes.
a pebble? Toss it?
Yeah.
Are you tossing it directly at the at where you're seeing the movement, or just kind of in that direction?
Like like in that direction, like just slightly beyond them. So it's like they'll hear a noise away from me, and they'll go to investigate, so I can see if they reveal themselves.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. You see you see as you throw the rock and it hits another tree across, about 35 feet from you, 40 feet from you. You see a bit of the foliage move on that side, and catch what you would assume is maybe a wolf. You see some grayish fur. It looks like it might have a tail, 4 legs. It's hard to see again because, while this foliage while these trees, this forest area isn't as full as what you just came through, there's still some like trees and some bushes that it's kind of hard to you can't see through them, but you can kind of make out like what looks like maybe 3 to 4 legs, grayish fur, and a tail.
All right, I'll grab my pendant and relay the information to the group. Mentally.
Okay. And you would still see a little bit of movement. And I would say even with the perception check that you made, that you would probably hear a little bit of a not really a growl, but like almost like a very quiet yelp.
So, should we come over to you?
How many bushes do I see moving, by the way, just so I can give them a number?
Maybe 2 areas you're seeing kind of move.
I see, 2 areas, and it's certainly odd that these bushes seem to have behind them some gray fur. I'm hearing some noises. Just seems odd.
We should talk.
You see another
To the
movement
wolves?
in one of the bushes, Tegan. And here, kind of almost like a scratching of fur.
I want to help you.
Apparently they have fleas.
Wait, Zephyr, do you yell that?
Wait, you don't have fleas?
I don't yell it, but
Okay.
Garble!
I say it
What the
loudly.
hell? I need to go to a doctor for that.
Hmm.
The right after in Tegan, you would hear Zephyr say that. You hear a howl come from one of the bushes.
I'll grab
We,
my
we might
pendant.
have squatters.
I'll grab my pendant. They heard that.
Special side effects.
As you're hiding there successfully, Tegan, you see two. Let me just grab my notes here. Two grayish brown wolves kind of come out, and one of them is the one that went to check out the sound, but kind of circled back around, you would assume. Two of them coming out of the bushes first, two of those, and then right after them are three. They have the form of wolves, but they're a little more, they kind of have a greenish tint to them. Almost like a moss is growing on their skin. But it's three of those right behind the two grayish brown ones. They step out of some foliage kind of catty-cornered from you, and are stepping towards the opening slowly. And then they stop right before the forest begins, where everyone is still inside, and just sit there. The rest of you that are inside would see these two grayish brown wolves, along with these three kind of weird, slightly a little bit larger, greenish wolves, kind of stop behind them, and they all kind of sit down in this 5 formation.
I mean, can I make a check to see if they look like the wolves we encountered way back in episode 2?
Sure, you can make an intelligence check
Great. Where's that? No.
to see
Actually,
if you remember.
Wow.
Strength would be my worst. But anyway.
Session 50, and we're having callbacks to episode
Intelligence
2.
check. Okay. Oh, that's a saving throw. Hold on. Intelligence check.
Suddenly you all find yourself on Baron and it's falling again.
Stephanie! Stephanie!
And Zephyr's.
Yeah, Zephyr's gone.
Oh, great. Gimble's back.
Just rolled off of bed number 17.
Aw,
Okay.
man.
No, I mean, it was like 3.
So,
17.
okay. So the 17, that was for the intelligence, right?
Yes.
The greenish wolves, definitely not. The grayish brown wolves, I mean, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure they looked very typical to regular wolves, but the drow that you saw turn into wolves before. So I mean, it could also just be wolves. But I will say, with that role and with you seeing these, seeing wolves before that kind of had this sort of intelligence, it does seem like that they do have intelligence. I mean, obviously, because they don't seem like that they're angry. They don't seem like that they're about ready to attack, but more like it's a calculated, intelligent move to kind of move up and sit down, almost as if they're waiting for the others to come through.
Hi!
I'll well, by the way, pendant check. How's the temperature on the pendant?
The ones inside the forest are your pendants are still a little bit warm, but that's been traveling throughout this forest in general, at least, if not hotter. Tegan, stepping, even being this short distance away from being out of that forest, it feels a little cooler.
Okay.
Almost non-existent, almost like you can't feel any warmness at all. Yeah, almost like just a regular pendant, almost.
Like less forest equals less temperature. Okay.
If that's what you assume by that, sure.
That Tegan will definitely assume that.
The fuck?
Okay.
And make a mental note in his journal. Anyway,
as Pixarin waved, right after that, you see the wolves kind of look at each other almost like, and the two grayish brown wolves kind of look back at the more kind of the little bit larger mossy green wolves, and one of the green wolves transforms into what most of you would assume was a drow. Very androgynous, kind of this kind of beautiful light blue skin that's almost like a bluish green. Kind of this tuft of sandy blonde hair that is a little unusual in a drow, but that kind of wisps back, almost in like a, what was it called? Like, is it a pompadour like hairstyle where it kind of like puffs up a bit, and kind of goes back over the shoulder, wearing this very colorful shawl with different colored threads, patches in it, along with just kind of a more plainish tunic and pants. It stands about what you can probably just, tell would be like about 5.5 feet. Standing very proud, hands at their side. How can we help you?
Well, that
And the other 4 wolves are just sitting as they were before.
Seeing that, Tegan will stand up and sort of approach with hands up, like.
As you stand up and appear, kind of out of your hiding, Tegan, I mean, the other, the 2 grayish brown wolves immediately transform into drow, and almost quicker than your mind can comprehend, almost, they draw a weapon at you, since it was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
We're just travelers.
Several walk out.
She's just kind of waving with her shield.
The 2
You like sweet rolls?
That the name?
the 2
Who
other
are you?
drow,
Holding my hands up with 2 reins, 2 horses.
Picture's like, I don't give a fuck. Hi.
the 2 other drow that drew their weapons will kind of lower them a bit. They still have them in hand, but they're not quite at the ready. The
What the hell was that?
drow with the sandy blonde pompadour will I am Valeraine. Why did you come through the forest?
It was the most direct way. We're trying to get to Lysadere and some ruins beyond. Ruins or
You're looking for Lysadere.
yes,
Yes.
more specifically, someone named Cullen Crithor.
Crinthor.
Well, the drow nods at you as if that they understand Tegan, and will suddenly kind of look over the group and will lower down on their haunches and kind of lean over to one of the wolves that's still in the 2, because you still have 2 that are in that mossy wolf form. Lean over to one of them, and you can sometimes see them whisper in the wolf's ear, and just kind of look at it for a bit, and then raise back up, and we can take you into Lysadere, and you can travel through if you so wish.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank you.
And I am Tegan.
That was the name. Thank you for facilitating that meeting. It's very helpful.
Sure. They'll smirk a bit. Of course.
Are you mages, perhaps?
We know a bit of magic. Most of us are more into earth magic. I believe some call it druidism.
Ah,
Seems to be working.
Interesting.
something I'm starting to dabble in myself.
Really? Well,
Yes.
you should find the city interesting then.
Jurble looks at Tegan. She just gives him a look.
How long have you studied?
About 6 episodes now.
What are these episodes?
He has some episodes
It's a-
every now and then. I
can't
don't
right
know what
now.
to call
There was a
them.
haunted mansion where you try to get water from a person. There's a whole thing.
Understood. Well, you seem like you don't mean any harm. I'm surprised you made it through the forest. Most do not. It's a
Negative side
specific...
effects.
Yes, it's a specific tactic we've kind of used to our advantage to keep the city safe from outsiders. Or mostly to keep us safe, I suppose. The city's already seen worse. Did you run into any trouble?
Oh, yes.
A little bit.
A large, strange creature, and I'll describe the first creature we bumped into.
Oh, yes. There are 2 or 3 of them out there.
Seemed to be calling out at times. I don't know if it was calling out to its fellow creatures or something else.
May have been calling for backup. But they're also a bit agitated at best. So could have just been upset. I take it you destroyed one of them.
Yes. Yes.
Tactic we use.
I'm a bit sad to hear, but if it attacked you, then you must defend yourself.
That's basically what happened.
They're not friendly creatures, that's for sure.
Indeed.
Well, I take it did you run into any of the spirits?
Yes.
Calling for backup.
Yes.
The spirits were
Spirits?
calling for backup?
They surrounded us. We had to defend ourselves.
You must defend yourself.
Zephyr, make a perception check for me, please.
Then
Oh, good.
I love
we
Zephyr.
also
Let's see. Perceptions.
Yes.
17.
Okay. You notice that one of the drow that transformed from from one of the grayish brown wolves looks at you strangely, and you can notice that their eyes kind of flit from your face to your belt where the sword is, you assume, and to your pack where the others reside. The drow turns to Valeraine and whispers in their ear, or you would assume so, and steps back. Valeraine looks at you. You have quite the collection there.
Just ask.
Valerian will look back at you, Tegan. Do you swear that you will cause no harm to the village? And that the group of you are responsible for if any in your group cause harm?
I'll give a wary look at Zephyr, like,
So will Jurble.
Start-
Jurble can like scowl at Zephyr.
It's a sparkle.
Yes.
Oh, y'all, don't be
Yes.
so hard on him.
Excuse
He's the
me,
alcoholic
sensitive.
You are aware that your friend, again, speaking mostly to you, Tegan, since you've kind of stepped up here, you are aware that your friend has some very powerful weapons in their possession.
Yes.
There are mages trapped in each of those.
Zephyr, I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Valeraine gives special attention to you now, Zephyr, and looks directly at you. Her face didn't really change, and she still looks slightly kind of like halfway between amused and annoyed.
Cook the bird.
So, mages. Spirits of mages? I like the spirits out there, and she kind of nods her head towards the forest.
Have you ever heard the term Shiga?
No, I haven't heard the term, no. But
Yeah, it's a certain type of mage spirit.
we're well aware of the mages that surround the forest. Or the spirits, I mean. It is but the good ones that protect us here. Or at least
Yes.
that's what we believe.
Interesting, because
So they're not.
And as most of
Vengeful.
if any of you like stepped into the clearing and out of the forest, you would have realized pretty quickly that where your pendants were slightly warm, now they just feel like regular pendants again. Almost immediately upon stepping out.
Yeah, Jurble would have led
You feel
his and
you
Tegan's
feel
horse out
better.
of there
Yeah, and you
and-
definitely feel better, Jurble.
and Tegan's horse back to Tegan.
I'll take the ring.
So,
Yes, I will. Yes.
What normally goes inside?
Usually metal is just metal, my friend.
I need more clarification.
Please follow me. I will take you to the...
Very powerful weapons?
Zephyr, I
Yes,
think we kind of
they
get the
are.
point.
I need more clarification.
Oh, you're trying to figure out information on it.
We might have someone that might be able to maybe look at them in town. Come, we will take you to the outskirts. We kind of stay in this area, but we have some more of us that will take you further into the town, into the village, I mean.
Alright.
And you almost see Valorant almost kind of turn to kneel, like they're about ready to change into a wolf, but will suddenly stop and just kind of stand back up and nod to the group of you and turn and walk. The two grayish brown wolves will, I mean, the drow that will turn back, the two other ones will turn back into the grayish brown wolves. So it's just Valorane that's staying in the drow form. The wolves will, the two grayish brown ones will kind of stay up front with Valorane. The other two moss or green ones will kind of just kind of stay where they are, wait for the group to continue, and start when everyone has kind of is starting to follow. So just kind of staying behind everyone in a protective, or, you know, whether that's protecting, you know, if y'all try anything, or protecting you from anything that might be out there in the forest. Yeah, and so you walk about, it's very brief, probably like 15-20 minutes, and you begin to see, you know, you're walking through, and there's like this pretty solid path through the trees, and it's not as thick of a forest as what you came through, for the past, several hours. But it goes about 15 to 20 minutes. You see some sun poking through the trees above. And as you get, towards that 15-20 minute mark, you start seeing what you would assume is rubble through the trees ahead. Looks like bricks in piles and large pieces of stonework in piles. You can maybe see some forms moving ahead, some like humanoids moving around, but you can't really make them out at this distance. When they get there, so as you're walking with Valorant and the wolves, does anyone have anything that they want to do during this 15-20 minute time span? Mm-hmm.
Waves lovingly at my longsword.
I'm going to just get close to her. Can we ride our horses? Like, is it still difficult terrain?
Are you asking me as the DM, or are you asking?
Yes.
Okay. You can. Yeah, you can get on your horse if you want to.
Okay. I will get on my horse.
Okay.
Excuse me. What do you know of a man named Callum Cranthorne?
Valerian continues walking as they answer. I believe your friend mentioned them a little bit ago. Name doesn't, you'll see one of the, you'll see see them suddenly stop and slightly look over their shoulder at possibly one of the wolves beside them. Oh, seems the name has been mentioned in town, yes. I personally do not know them, but is that who the lot of you are looking for?
That is indeed, yes.
Maybe if you ask around town, maybe someone will have heard.
How?
Go ahead.
No. How big is your town out here?
The village is, I know I keep saying town, that's a more stepping mistake than anything, but the village is, there's about maybe close to 100 of us, maybe. We have Drow, and mostly Drow, but a few others as well.
In the forest, the spirits of the forest, they protect you.
Oh no, the spirits in the forest do not protect us. The forest itself serves as a barrier to where we've kind of set up camp, set up our livelihood. But the spirits in the forest, no, they do not protect us. The spirits inside here do. Or at least that's what we believe. There are more than just bad spirits, Bugbear. There are also good ones.
Oh, apologies, my name's Jurble, by the way. But you could still call Bugbear, if you wish.
You'll hear them chuckle a bit. Noted, Jurble. Pixron, did you have something?
Sorry, I can't stop laughing. I'm trying to I'm laughing at my question because I'm trying to make it seem less one thing and more the other.
Mhm.
Anyway, so have y'all spent your entire lives above ground, or forgive me, hi, I'm picturing Drow mostly stayed below ground, but I was wondering if y'all were born up top instead of below. I don't know how to word that. I apologize.
No apology necessary. A few of the old ways are a bit confused when they first see so many drow here and there in Ozberghen. Some of us were, at least in this clan, in this pact, were raised above ground. We have a few that came from below. What do you know of drow history here in Ozberghen? Pixar, remind me without me looking at your backstory, were you born in Ozberg? Were you born... Okay.
I
Make
can't remember the name of the
Okay.
let me make a history check.
Yeah, make a history check for me, please.
It's been so long since I've looked at it. 18.
Okay. I
That's
would
what she said.
say that you would probably have an inkling, Pixrin, to at least you would know that before before about a little over 100 years ago, that there were several drow clans below Ozberghen. You don't know where exactly they're located, but you do know that Ozberghen had a lot of drow residences below the surface, in several cities, some villages, kind of spread throughout the continent. Yeah, and you would know probably that with the last mage war, that started to change, and some of the drow started coming to the surface.
A little bit. Huh. She has like this awkward smile, don't know what to do look on her face.
Yeah.
Just she feels like she's like calling herself out just a little bit, even though she's kind of not, but she kind of feels stuck and
Sure. So you know that there were a lot of places underneath Ozberghen that thousands of drow lived. Some in the same place. I mean, in the same vicinity. But that's slowly changed over the years. Now there are a lot of defunct cities below Ozberghen that are either uninhabited or still inhabited by a few drow, or inhabited by something altogether different. But
so everybody's coming up on top?
a few. And if they don't come up, they either stay down there or move to one of the other continents. Let's see here. Where's my map? Over there's some drow that we know that sailed over to Credencia. Quite the voyages, I've heard. Kind of difficult when you take drow that have lived underground their entire lives and try to transport them across the ocean.
Yeah, I can imagine it's kind of weird. I mean, they'd be seasick and all over the place.
Yes, I've heard tales passed down, of course, but
I don't do very well in the ocean.
I don't think a lot of Drow do. And those who do are exceptional at best.
I don't think I've been on a boat yet. Woo.
Oh. Well, maybe your adventuring will change that.
Mm.
All right, we are nearing the edge of the city, and the tree line has kind of like, you've kind of come upon the edge of the tree line. I can see again like the rubble, and further, not really into the horizon, but maybe like as us players, maybe a couple of maybe about a football field away, you'll start seeing into the crevices of these two like mountain sides that come down around this rubble. You can almost make out carved things into the mountain faces, almost like doors and windows. And you can see a few structures in the distance, not tall structures, but like almost like that they've carved into the rubble that's been on the ground. You can see a few figures moving. Valerian will stop there and just kind of look around, and they should be here. Oh, there they are. And coming your way are five more grayish-brown wolves, kind of coming out from a huge piece of rubble. And just to kind of paint more of a picture, the landscaping, not really landscaping, I guess the terrain of this area is very rocky. Once you get out of this kind of forested area, you can kind of see out, and there are not a lot of trees. You might see a little patch here and there, but it's mostly rock, and it's mostly dirt or sand. So a very kind of monochromatic landscape in between these two mountainsides as you're looking down this kind of scope. And the five wolves walk closer, and as they get closer, they kind of pause for a moment, look at each other, and continue walking towards the group of you. Valerian looks back at the group of you. Well, this is where we must depart. Maybe I'll see you at the end of my shift if you stay in town long enough.
Thank you.
Of course. Welcome to Lysadere.
Is there someone in town that is? I mean, are you the leader of this group, or is there someone in town?
She will genuinely laugh at that. No. But I appreciate the vote of confidence. And immediately kind of goes back into that kind of like half amused, half annoyed look. But no, we are merely security. But these five, and she motions towards the five wolves approaching, will take you further into the city while we go back to our patrol.
That makes sense.
She will give a kind of a slight bow with her hands immediately at her sides, and then kind of almost in this weird kind of fluid motion, kind of turn and almost like shift down into this, into the larger wolf with that kind of mossy green pelt on, and the five of them start turning.
Picture's going to, as they turn, bow as well, and say in Undercommon, the Dark Lady smiles on those who see the deeper beauty within, and just bow deeper as she says that, and then stand straight up.
Valerian will stop before she transforms then, and look at you, Pixrin. You'll like it here. And then they will transform back into the wolf, and the 5 will turn and go back to possibly where they found you. The other 5...
Zephyr, you think they got sweet rolls here?
Because that's what that statement meant.
All right. Totally in her brain.
All right.
The other 5 wolves approach and immediately transform into Drow. Everyone but Zephyr would recognize these as the 5 wolves that you met when transferring. You gave them Sinead.
I thought
To take back to the other Drow Pact. So you have recognizable forms. The main Drow that you communicated with, I think, was Feral, who has that typical Drow kind of bluish gray skin tone. This kind of like light, kind of dull gray tuft of hair, and wearing very kind of like dark leather clothing. Well, I didn't expect to see you lot again, especially here. Welcome.
it's a relief to see you. Girl.
So, did you come to Lysadere for the sights?
No.
Yes.
We are looking for someone named Cullen Crinthorpe.
Crinthora.
Crinthor. God, I can't remember his name.
Interesting. A Drow.
Dude, I don't think we know what race Cullen is.
Damn you, DM.
Just to plant a little seedling of doubt in your mind.
It's her job, guys.
Did we know?
No, I don't think that you know.
I don't think we ever knew.
You never asked anyone.
It's another goblin.
What
still
race
don't know
are
what-
they?
We still don't know what day it is.
So, not a Drow. I take it by your hesitation?
No,
We don't know for sure.
we're not sure.
Probably not.
Well, the name doesn't sound familiar to me, but it doesn't mean that it won't sound familiar to anyone inside. Are they in Lysadere, or do they reside elsewhere?
We
Don't know exactly where.
we were told the last whereabouts that he was heard from was around Lysadere. He was studying the spirits
And the Mage War
and the Mage
fall
War
of-
and
the
history.
fall of Lysadere.
Well, this is the one way in this way, but there are some more wooded areas south of the city. So maybe, I don't know, along with some mountains. I haven't done too much exploring, due to my duties in Lysadere, but yeah. Well, please follow us, and we will take you back, or take you to Lysadere. So they'll stay in their drow form as they walk with you. Mostly ahead of you. Pharaoh will kind of like stay back a bit to kind of walk more with you than in front of you. So what? So why are you looking for this Crinthora?
I received a injury that needs a special kind of treatment, and
Interesting.
we were hoping this Cullen Crinthora could help.
Well, I hope that they can, friend. How did your adventures go after we last saw you? That
this
good,
was
huh?
this was
That
fair
for
weather,
Sinead.
right?
Yeah, this was before
This was
Baron.
this was
Before
this
Baron.
is even before Baron.
Yeah.
How long ago since we last saw each other? We've been
Oh. Well, I mean, I haven't counted the days, but maybe a couple of months, maybe 3. Might be 3 months.
sure that checks out. I don't know.
How is Sinead, by the way?
Um, Tegan, you will make. Well, no. I mean, you will notice Farrell slightly smirk. You'll be able to find out soon yourself. And as he says this, you notice that you're pretty much right there, entering into the city, or into the village. I mean, but it's a pretty, and I say village only because of the size of the people that are in, like the size of the group of people that are in there. But like, this is a big space. There are, again, like as you're nearing it, you can kind of see things a little bit more clearly. You have these 2 mountainsides that kind of dip into this like wide, maybe like a half of a football field in length area that kind of shoots down in between these two mountainsides. There are like in the rock faces that kind of almost kind of form like the shape of like a natural mountainside, in that it's not like straight up and down, but it has like curvature to it. You see windows carved out. You see doorways and stairs. Almost like either the Drow here or someone else had carved almost an entire city's worth of shops and or houses, buildings, living spaces in these mountainsides. And not only that, but like you see these just huge pieces of rubble. Like you also have areas where there are like piles of bricks and things, but like just huge pieces of rock that are just scattered about this area between the 2 mountainsides. Pieces of it that look a little bit older, and you can see kind of like small pieces carved into it, like windows and doors, but they're so like sanded down almost by time that you can tell that those are from the past. That could have been from when the city fell during the Mage War, during the last Mage War. But interestingly enough, some of these larger pieces of rubble and even some of the bricks that were left behind have been turned into maybe living spaces, but they've been turned into like small like houses or coverings for tents. You see people going in and out of them. So they've almost taken the rubble and carved them out themselves and made newer carvings of windows and doors and carved out the insides. You can even see some people working on, continuing to work on carving out some of the rubble, or working on the side of the mountains. Maybe carving out small murals. And then speaking of that, you also see some people working on some colorful murals, painting murals on the side of the mountains, like around the windows and around the door frames. You can see in these murals all kinds of different colors used, and you can see maybe 3 to 4 people, you can't really tell their races from, probably from being this far away, working on them. And you can see like in the murals and the illustrations, like people in robes and people in armor, and it kind of reminds you a lot. I mean, there are other things mixed in, but there are pieces of it that remind you kind of what you saw traveling through the forest in those kind of ghostly figures that played out that scene before you. You see mostly drow kind of running around, doing their daily chores and going from one building to the next, or kind of peeking out of the windows that are carved into the mountainside, or moving up and down the steps. But you also see some of other races. You can kind of, you pass a tiefling going in. You might even see some smaller folk that, are more smaller size than medium. Some larger ones. It's, but again, mostly drow. You also see some wolves kind of walking around as well. So it seems that if not all of these, maybe all of them can turn to wolves, or maybe it's just some of them. I'm not really sure. You see some tents set up to sell some things. It definitely seems like these drow have moved in and kind of created their own living space and kind of used what was there to live. And you see some dancers dancing in a small corner, kind of cornered off with some rocks and with a small wall. But it's a mixture of children and adults, it seems. Seems like a very lively place, and it seems like that they've tried to throw in some color where they can in this kind of like more dull landscape, because again, as far as the terrain goes, it's mostly just sand and oranges and browns, and there's not a lot of greenery or a lot of color. So they've done what they can to kind of add that in there. As the 5 wolves, no, not 5 wolves, they stayed in draw form, I apologize. As they lead you deeper into this, and you're seeing all this as you're walking, Farrell will, they're here. Sinead and Aqua, they're here.
Oh. It is very good to hear.
Yes. So you can ask them yourself. Come on, I'll take you to them if you want to see them.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. All right. He's going to kind of turn to the rest and kind of nod, and they'll kind of go about their business. Farrell will lead you into one of these, into one of the mountainsides, and through this door frame of sorts that's been carved out, and you see as you walk into it, it opens up into this kind of beautifully carved out space, with pillars and with even these carved out murals on the walls. There are a few drow and other races in here. There are a few tables set up selling things. And he kind of leads you through that and into a back room. And leads you into another room. And there are a few drow in here. And across the room, you notice one that you recognize. Well, everyone except Zephyr, of course. It is Aqua.
I am Zephyr.
So it's Aqua with her long white hair that it's now kind of in a loose braid and kind of over one shoulder. She's wearing a kind of a colorful dress with this kind of like long colorful duster over that. And she turns and you immediately recognize her from, I mean, not so long ago, but, and Farrell kind of stops and motions the group of you towards her. I will take my leave. If you need anything, Aqua here can help, or anyone else. Aqua, would you mind when you're done taking them to see Javaca? Absolutely. And she will kind of turn and step towards the group of you with a smile on her face. It is, and she'll give a bow of her head. It is a pleasure to see you again.
Picture's just gonna go up there and just give her a big hug.
Oh boy.
Griffin's gonna lean over to whoever's closest to him. Those are a little weird here.
At your hug, Pixar, and she will kind of like stiffen at first, but then kind of like try to like hug you back. The rest of you
will work on that.
The rest of you have seen her before, which is everyone except Zephyr. She's definitely in a different. It's definitely very different than seeing her before, because you saw her before. She was in her kind of ruler set where she was very kind of rigid and very kind of like sitting on her throne. She seems more.
We were her prisoners.
She seems more relaxed in this instance. Yeah, she again will kind of like start to return your hug, Pixrin. Well, it's been a while. How have your travels been?
Interesting. Very.
It's a long story.
It's a long story. Well, we should.
Please, if you want to follow me, we can go into my home. And if you all follow, she will lead you up a set of stairs that is inside this space. Again, all of this is carved out of stone. Lead you up a couple of flights down a small corridor with other doors, with doorways that have doors kind of like placed in them, wooden, for the most part. Some of the doors are closed, some of them are open. If you look inside, you can see like a Drow family moving around, making dinner. But she takes you a few doors down and opens a door there, and you're inside this very comfortable but moderately decorated living space.
I should hope that you guys are not trying to fit the horses inside the building.
Oh, no.
Upon entering, you would have
Rhaenyra is still on the horse.
No, there'd be...
Honestly, I think
holding
Patron
the horse's
completely
neck.
forgot about her horse.
They would have asked you to probably put the horses right outside of town to hook them up.
To let them roam free.
That was a
Love
funny
the
thought.
animals.
No, they would have a place for horses.
I'm not savages.
Yeah, so would you like some tea?
Yes, please.
Please excuse me, and I will go and make it. But otherwise, make yourself at home. There are, like, the furniture and stuff isn't carved out of stone. Like, it is, it has wicker furniture, mostly wood-carved furniture with some cushioning in it. There's minimal color in this space compared to the kind of the rest of the indoor spaces that you've walked through so far. But also on the wall, she would have the pact of the stars symbol.
The other group was the move. Okay.
Yeah, y'all just sit down, or stand
I'll
there.
sit down but I'll take the teacup out, the chipped teacup from, I think it was Tegan's sister.
Yes. Yes, you're
that
right.
she had taken.
Mm-hmm.
And decided to keep, and she'll take it out of her pack just kind of nonchalantly and just like,
Okay.
Do I notice?
oh, she's doing it in front of everybody. She doesn't care.
Sure.
I don't even know if I
Make-
would
make-
recognize it.
Make an intelligence check,
Yeah, that would
Tegan,
be that
to
would be
see if you
Are you
remember
smart enough to realize that it's
where
your
this
sisters?
cup came from.
We will find out. 14.
Tegan, you see Pixrin take out this teacup out of her bag and sit it down, and she's kind of like arranging everything. And God, it looks familiar. It looks familiar. You can't quite place from where, but daggone, it looks familiar, and you haven't. There's not a lot of teacups that you have like in your memory. Like why would you remember this one? But you remember it. So you just can't help but kind of like just stare at it for a bit. I'm picturing you would probably notice him like just kind of looking at it.
What?
I don't know. You ever have that happen to you when you think you know you've seen something before but you didn't? Not sure. I just know. I don't know. That's a rather unique looking teacup.
Oh yeah, you should have seen it before, cause. No. I guess I should have had a little bit more fun with this, but it's your sisters.
Oh, I didn't know you had that sort of attitude in you. Interesting.
Oh, she let me have it. It was great.
Oh, you went. Oh, okay.
It was chipped anyway, so
Yeah, be careful. I mean, you don't want to cut your lip or anything.
that's why I drink
Wow.
from the other side.
As the
Kinda like-
group.
Gonna
Sorry.
act like he nervously is just like fiddling with his pendant,
Mm-hmm.
but he's gonna talk to everybody like because I don't know if anybody
Okay.
else is in the room. Like, how much do we tell Sinead and Aqua about? I mean, the Shiga, why we're here and stuff like that.
Jurble is standing in the back. If you look
I
at
don't know
him,
what to
he
say
is
to
stressed the fuck out. Jurble is just like
Oh
Like,
no!
rubbing the back of his neck. Like he's not sitting down. He's just in the corner, just not.
Teddy bears.
He's not listening. He's not. He's just in his own world right now. Just like
Starstruck.
What's the matter, sunflower?
Hmm.
That was
Just
great.
he's-
You all right over there? What's up your butt? Okay?
I'm fine.
You suck at lying.
Drink your tea.
Excuse me?
Did you just say finger tea?
What?
She's going to get
No.
up from where she was sitting and like walk to Jurble and actually like look up at him and
What?
okay, but people telling me what to do aside. You seem really uncomfortable. You alright? Friend to friend.
Just
You look like
didn't
you're about to
expect
take
to
a
see
shit.
her.
What's,
Never expected to see her again.
Is it so bad to see her again?
No, it's just
Shock.
I'm not used to this.
Really uncomfortable.
Just
Oh,
stare-
sorry.
Never stay out of
Stare.
this.
Hi, it's Pepper.
just like shoots daggers and stuff.
Right, okay. Well, you don't have to say much of anything if you don't want to, all right? And if you're uncomfortable, you can always step outside. Okay, I got you. Okay? All right. I'm going to go sit back down over there to make sure that Tegan doesn't steal my teacup. But if you need me, what I want you to do...
He can slowly pull his hand back, like, oops, almost.
Oh, you little shit.
Hmm.
Jurble, if is there some kind of hand signal or something to let me know that you're uncomfortable and need to step away? Or so I'm gonna make sure that you're okay. Or just spurt out sunflower or something. I don't know, something random that'll help you out.
If I say I'm a bugbear,
You say that all the time.
Don't you say exactly?
Are you
But they know
uncomfortable
I'm a
all the
bugbear.
time?
No,
Hey, what if you say I'm
I'll
a
be fine.
sunflower?
I'll be fine. I'm fine.
I'm a sunflower.
Hmm.
She like she aggressively says it while looking at Jurble. I'm a sunflower.
It's the new safe word.
Okay. Well then, just say
I don't remember.
red. Okay? Red.
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 Right. Okay. She scurries back to where she was sitting, and then she sits down and like eyes Tegan like in the teacup, and Tegan in the teacup like.
Tegan will just shrug.
Right, Zephyr.
I'm Zephyr. Red.
Right as now, what we? Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! What have I done? I forgot about that.
Put it on the list.
I'm so sorry.
Inner monologue in Jurble's head is,
Shit.
you know, this wound isn't that bad. I'll just
Oh man. I'm kicking myself. I'll just sit there and just wait for the tea in silence right after he says the word red and just like kind of stew in silence.
As the a lot of you are sitting there waiting for your tea, Aqua will call out from another room, which you would assume is the kitchen. Be right back there. I'm just making a couple of different caffeinated and non-caffeinated for you. Almost done. And as she says that, you hear this kind of the sound of like small claws against stone. And around the corner from like a hallway or another room comes this little ball of fluff. It's about maybe like 10 inches long. Has these cute little brown tuft ears, and it has a small tiny little beak and these little kind of small little feather wings. But it runs around the corner and kind of stops as it sees the group of you, and immediately like runs into the room where Aqua is.
Rude.
And you hear Aqua go, "Oh, finally decided to wake up. Here you go." And Aqua will come out with a tray of tea. And we'll sit it down on this wooden table that's in between all the chairs and the sofa. And also on the on this tray with we'll say about 8 teacups. She has them separated with half caffeinated and half non-caffeinated. Also some like little like cookie biscuits to the side as well. Hopefully these are good, and Artisan here makes them. I haven't tried one myself, but you have caffeinated over here, and I wasn't sure. Herbal and some Stephanie, black tea over here. Wow. Yeah. And she will sit down in the last remaining chair. Well,
Thank you. Jurble will reach. He'll start to reach for a caffeinated tea. Stop. Get a decaffeinated tea. It's just
no issue. And if we run out of one, and anyone wants one that's not there, if you want caffeinated or non-caffeinated, and it's not available, I can always make some more.
Picture and we'll take a caffeinated one and put it in her personalized teacup. And then set it down, and then look at Rhaenyra and be like, Well, which one you want?
I could use some caffeine.
Okay. And she'll prepare his. She won't put anything extra in it.
Okay.
She'll leave that to him and put his teacup.
Yeah, you also have some like
where
sugar and
he's-
stuff there
yeah.
too. Mm-hmm.
So she will. I'll let you decide how much of that you want, or if you want any of that at all. But here you go.
Thank you.
She'll settle down and sip.
Jurble, are you
Wow.
still standing against the wall?
Not totally against the wall because he would have come forward to get a drink. And so now that he's getting the tea, he's still
He's
standing
not a
up, but he's
monkey.
not, sitting down
Aqua
like
will
he's.
look at you, Jurble. You seem a bit troubled.
No, not not troubled. Just nervous, I guess. I didn't. It's just seeing. I never expected to see you guys. You lot again.
Yes, I'm sure it is surprising. Yes, when the attack happened on the Pact, I was ushered here, since we knew that this one existed. And then met up with Sinead here as well.
Glad you're both safe and we're reunited.
This little like fuzzball quickly moves from the kitchen area to like quickly just like almost within a shot, like, and if you see it, it kind of like is almost like leaping, like using its wings to kind of like flap a bit and then like landing and doing the same again, and runs directly for Aqua's chair and kind of like hides under it. Yes, we are both safe. Yes. Sinead is here. Give me a moment and I can see if she will come out to visit. And please excuse me. And she will sit down her tea and go back to the, like, where the little fuzzball came out of. You don't see whatever it is move out from under the chair. But you don't see it come out from under the chair, either. It doesn't run after Aqua, but it just kind of stays hidden under there.
Zephyr's gonna lean forward and go,
What, you
Who?
hiss at it?
yeah.
Oh my god! Is Jurble next to Zephyr?
Where did you pick up a hiss?
If Jurble's next to Zephyr, Jurble will just backhand upside down.
Oh, Zephyr, you would actually, as you lean down to do that, you notice that it's sparkling.
It's a sparkle! It's a sparkle!
And do you still hiss at it when you lean down and see that?
He'll just click his beak at it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if he didn't hiss, I would have slapped him, I guess.
Aww.
The little fuzzball will kind of like, jump back and quickly run under Jurble's chair and hide under it. Oh no, Jurble is not sitting down. Never mind. We'll run under Rhaenyra's chair and hide under it.
Aww, you're so
Rhaenyra's
adorable.
And you
will immediately stand up and find another chair.
the only other chair is the chair that Aqua was sitting in.
Wait, what is that thing?
I will go sit in Aqua's
And you
chair.
hear this kind of very small, like,
Rhaenyra's.
It's a shiny!
I would rather not have a shiny underneath me.
Well,
Just follow me.
you sit on my lap?
oh, make an animal handling check, Zephyr.
Yes!
When did
Yes!
Zephyr learn the creepy "follow me"? Where did he learn
Follow
that?
me.
Oh my God.
Nice paper. Damn.
Wow, 18.
All right.
I'll
So
take it.
Zephyr, you kind of lean down again and like follow me, and it's a little hesitant at first, but it will slowly move out from under Rhaenyra's chair, well, the chair that Rhaenyra was sitting in, and kind of slowly move towards you. And this is probably like the most like still like look that you've gotten at it in a bit. I mean, I guess the DC's pretty high.
I got your back.
But everyone make a history check for me to see if you've read about this or seen anything.
Worst case scenario, we die.
24.
I swear to God,
Okay.
Bird, if we die because
12.
of your motherfucking
Okay.
being a papa or some shit.
15.
Okay.
Jesus Christ!
And you get-
7.
Okay.
Wait, don't we all have
History.
inspiration?
You all have
9.
inspiration, yes.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
waste
use
your
my
inspiration on this?
inspiration.
Okay, use your inspiration, which I think is D10 now.
For a history check?
D10. Hey, I got a 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
I got a
7.
9.
She really wants to know.
I'm nosy as fuck. Okay. Shut up, Andrew.
Tegan, what did you roll?
I got an 8 for my.
Okay.
It's what is known as a baby penguin.
Just follow me.
So that was an 8 picks round?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 15 total. 7 and 8, right? Math?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, I can't do math.
It's okay. It's all right. So
What's up?
Rhaenyra's is the only one that recognizes it. So again, I said the DC was pretty high. Rhaenyra, this looks a lot to you like what you've seen in books, and you haven't ever seen one in person, but what you've seen in books as... Okay, it has the same shape as a griffin, but a few interesting, even in this small form, a few interesting... where the heck am I? How did I roll this far up into my notes?
It's a crow raccoon.
A
Griffin,
few
isn't it?
interesting things about it. Once I find it in
Stop
here,
giving her ideas,
Stephanie.
Andrew. God damn it.
Hey, that's just a meme on the internet.
wings, because usually griffins are brown, white, maybe more, usually kind of fairly earthy tones, along with some white tufts here and there. This one has that coloring, but then also the wings kind of fade into like this one is like the very tip of its little wings are this kind of beautiful sapphire blue. And the eyes, while you can still see some dark in them, you can also see some like almost rainbow colors here and there, like as it moves its head. You can see these little like shimmers in its eyes.
From what I know or from what I read about this thing, should I be afraid of it?
I mean, it is a baby. So, you know that they grow to be a lot larger than this. So this is a baby. So, I mean, I would think that you would kind of figure that it's not going to be too much of a harm to you, even if it would try to attack you. But griffins, yeah, I mean, they can be trained, and, or at least from what you've read, they can be trained, but it's extremely difficult, and also, when they are rare, and when seen, they can be extremely powerful.
Just follow me.
So yeah, the griffin is kind of, or this baby griffin is kind of slowly moving towards you, Zephyr, with these little kind of like small little like clawed footprints. Its wings are kind of back, and it kind of like stops about 5 feet from you.
Worst case scenario, we die. Eventually.
It just like does this like cute little squeaky squawk at you.
Excuse me. I'm sensitive.
At this point, Aqua will come back around the corner. She's finishing up something in her room, so she can see you in just a moment.
Wonderful.
Zephyr's going to take the gold coin out of his pocket and kind of hold it out to the griffin.
Oh.
In like a motioning gesture. The
Uh,
gold coin from Demglemt.
the griffin will kind of like gnaw on it, kind of like reach out its neck really far from like trying not to walk any like too much closer towards you, and like.
I mean, I don't know if Zephyr's reach is 5 feet.
Sure.
Like, if it's stopped 5 feet away.
But it will try to like. It will just go close enough to where it can just crane its neck out and like bite on it a bit, and then like kind of come back and.
Just fed their
Look
pet
her.
a gold coin. What is
Oh
wrong?
no! It just
It's
just,
a
like,
giant 3-inch
yeah. It just gnawed
torchlight
it. It just
committee
kind of
stamp.
like bit it
Oh.
a couple of times, and then like was like, "Oh, I can't eat that. It's not food."
I love your puppy. Here's a quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right the looker.
Just talk about that's kids too.
Aqua will.
We should talk. It's a sparkle.
Aww.
Aqua will sit down in Rhaenyra's old seat, and she'll kind of like get her teacup from like where Rhaenyra is sitting and bring it over to that chair and sit down and. Oh yes, cute thing, isn't it?
You can eat that?
It freaked me out at first, but it is quite beautiful.
Yes, it's a griffin. If you do not recognize it.
Yeah, Daddy.
We have a. She'll kind of like look at you quizzically, Zephyr. We have a recent litter here.
Can I have one? Oh shit!
Oh,
I, say that
I
out
don't
loud.
know. I believe that they might be selling some of them. They gave one to me, given my rank. I mean, not really here in Lysadere, but my rank among my kind.
Meanwhile, Silver's horse is dead in the forest.
No, we're saying that all of the horses came in. They were being docked at a station.
I forgot about my horse. I hate that horse anyway.
Zephyr's still like just trying to get this thing to come closer.
So you,
Easily
Singing, can I have a griffin, please? I'll
The,
give the teacup back.
the griffin will come closer to you, Zephyr, and rub up against your leg.
Zephyr will give it gentle pets.
It seems to have taken a liking to you.
What's up? Thank you for facilitating that meeting. It was really helpful.
You should really stop in and see the mother. Very interesting
Okay.
creature.
Yeah,
I believe they're keeping her in a room off of the temple.
an adult griffin.
Wait, why
Excuse
keep the
me.
mother and the
Good
baby
night. I'll see you in the morning.
Yes. Was brought
Was that
here.
Zephyr leaving?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zephyr's
bitch.
literally like getting up and like has written directions down and is walking
You
up.
don't
Oh,
know where
God.
to go.
Oh.
Savage.
I'm ready for your test.
Yes. It was found around around the forest here. I believe that's what they've told me. Came here pregnant and recently had the litter. So you'll see a few around town. Small ones, I mean, the children. I
Rad.
will warn you. Sinead may be a bit different than when you last saw her.
What has happened?
Quite the looker.
Now,
It
Jurble,
hasn't
stop
been.
it,
It
stop
hasn't been that long.
Zephyr's
Yeah,
never
true.
met her.
No. She's become very despondent lately. A little distant. I'm not really sure why. It seemed to happen all of a sudden, about... Oh, goodness. Maybe 2 weeks ago?
I don't think it was part of
What happened 2 weeks
ago.
ago?
What happened in fair weather?
Fell down.
It's been longer than 2 weeks. Bear fell.
So, I don't know what to do with her. I mean, she's not too much of a trouble, but she has been practicing her magic a lot lately, to the point where she becomes consumed by it. I'm really unsure. But I'm sure that she will be glad to see you regardless, I would hope. Seeing everything that you did for her. Which, I am very thankful. Thank you for seeing her to safety. I don't know what all happened during that time, but I know that when she arrived with the Pact of the Moon, she was safe, and unfortunately they had to bring her here, and what was left of the Pact came here because of the Bugbears, and she'll kind of glance at you, Jurble, but... Yeah. Have you heard of the invasion that is to the south?
Yes. Yes, we are aware. In fact, it's in part of that we're here. I was ambushed by a bugbear and stabbed, and it has left a poison in me that we hope can get treatment from someone we hope to find here.
Sure. Someone here in Lysadere.
That's what we hope. Someone by the name of Colin Condora.
Your name
He was in the
doesn't sound
mountains
familiar
south
to
of
me.
Lysadere.
Well, perhaps ask others. Javaca might know. She leads the temple here, the temple to Lysadere. And if she doesn't know, then I'm sure that maybe Galintry will know, as being in charge of the clan. And I hope you find the answers that you need, Jurble.
Thank you.
Sinead talked about you a lot after getting back here. She recounted a few things to me, what she could remember. But she did speak of the bugbear very fondly.
I'm glad.
She'll kind of lean. I mean, you're standing, but she'll kind of like direct herself more towards you, Jurble, and speak directly to you. I do hope that... How can I say this? That if she is a bit more cold to you than others, that you understand. They were attacked by a bugbear tribe. Maybe she's
understand.
aware and won't think anything of it, but it's hard to tell when I haven't been able to judge her reaction to a bugbear since we haven't seen any in these parts, so just keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Of course. Why don't we go and see... Here, I'll tell you what, I'll just take you back there to her. whoever wants to go and see her, you can follow me, and she can decide if she wants to talk or not. But at least she will see you. And Aqua will put her teacup down and stand and start walking back towards the hallway, pausing for anyone to catch up with her that want to go. Is anyone staying in the room?
This is to go see Sinead?
Yes.
Zephyr will stay in the room.
Okay.
Trying to get the baby griffin to like crawl up on his lap.
Okay.
Yeah, Tegan will stay in the room. Give Jurble.
Is anyone going to see Sinead?
Well,
Jurble's not?
Jurble will. Jurble
Okay.
will.
Okay.
If Jurble is
And-
going, then Pictron's going to be behind him. But if
Okay.
he's staying, then she's going. Well, she would go anyway, even if he stayed.
Okay.
Because she's that kind of person. But
Zephyr, the griffin, is still rubbing up against your leg, but it's not coming onto your lap. Seems a little hesitant. Very
Settle.
hesitant.
Keep petting it.
wait,
Okay.
you have a
Scratching.
bathroom somewhere?
We're going to go to that in just a little bit. Just give me a couple minutes. Just give me a minute, Melissa. I'm trying to end on a dramatic pause.
I'm sorry. I ruined everything.
No
So
break for you.
Jurble and Pixarin follow Aqua down this. It's a short hallway. Again with these kind of interesting little like murals and almost like pieces of artwork carved into the stone as you go in this hallway, and you enter in through a door, Aqua walking in front of you, and you see this Jurble. You would immediately, one picture into it, immediately recognize even the back of her. Her long white hair that she had free-flowing before is now up in this loose bun. She is wearing kind of clothing a little bit more typical of this clan, a little bit more colorful. But as you enter the room, she is just consistently casting this fire spell against the wall. Standing only like a mere 10 feet away from it, but just casting it in a way to where it bounces off of the wall and up. Casting it into where it bounces off of the wall and up. Casting it again as it bounces off the wall and up. And as you enter the room, Aqua, like, Sinead. And she will turn, and that's where we'll take our bio break. And for those of you who are watching, we take an 8 to 10 minute bio break. So stay in your seats. We will be back in about 10 minutes. All right. See you soon. And your back screen is up. Audio is on. It's okay.
I feel like shit.
It's alright.
I'm sorry. The rest is trying to apologizing. Alright, I'll be right back.
Okay.
why I had that bar. So helpful. Because people, characters go, well, what's been happening? Bard? sing a song about what's been happening.
Oh no.
Or at least we should give brochures being our story thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
I am regretting not taking that energy shot.
Mm.
Should known better.
Now it's too late.
Yep.
Is it too late, darling? Oh, it's too late.
Up the MCA, sorry, we what? Right side?
We are. Yeah, they are.
Oh, damn. Let her income.
It's fine.
I think we'd all collectively have to have perfect pitch for Twitch to catch anything.
Jonathan's thing has one sad sunflower.
Mama Griffin comes looking for her baby.
Go the baby and there's ever.
Yeah.
Rule number 1 on how to train your griffin: do not show it large gold coin, as it will drive him crazy.
All right, 45 seconds. Look alive! Look alive!
No.
30 seconds. Yep. 5 seconds. And we're back. Welcome back, chat, to the 50th episode of The Forsaken. And we have our year anniversary coming up in like a couple of weeks, so that's exciting as well. Maybe I'll have to actually try to promote that, and we can do a giveaway for a year anniversary. That'd be good. But yeah, here we are at our 50th. So, yeah, we left off was, oh, that's right, Pixarin. Okay, so let's try maybe to go to the ones who stayed in the room, who didn't go to see Sinead. Are y'all doing anything specifically or just waiting?
Sipping tea and being awkward.
Being awkward.
Playing with the griffin.
Okay. What are you doing with the griffin?
Scratching behind its ears.
Okay. Make another animal handling check for me. And what were you saying, Tegan?
Well, I'll let him make his animal.
Okay.
Griffins have ears?
Nat 20.
Nat
Yes,
20?
they have ears.
Yeah. So, Zephyr, you kind of scritch behind the griffin's little tufty, little tiny, tiny ears. And it kind of, leans into it. And then immediately
A cat with wings.
claws up your pants up to your lap.
Yes.
Like, like a cat does. Like,
Yeah.
Woof, woof, and gets in your lap and just kind of leans against your stomach and kind of like curls up against it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Still
That's Zephyr for
sparkling.
the rest of this time.
Zephyr's
No, they
turning
have-
into a James Bond villain
They have two
with all these
little-
evil demon swords.
They have two little ears, Jonathan.
Okay.
Yeah. The pictures that I found do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
In that case, Tegan will lean in and just look at Zephyr and say, just be aware, be careful, don't get too attached. It is Aqua's. It's not yours.
I don't know what to say to that. Excuse me, I'm sensitive.
It would be rude to steal someone's...
Everyone make retroactive perception checks for me.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tegan.
that's all right. It's fine. That's cool.
17.
What kind of check?
Perception check.
15. 10 plus
14.
12.
All right.
24.
Okay. I would say that on okay. So on the and then again, this is retroactive. I should have brought this up earlier, but on the wolves that led you into the town, the one that had Valoran that met you just outside the forest, the forest you traveled through for a while. You would have noticed, all of you would have noticed that they all wore these kind of stone pendants. And you also have seen these same pendants on pretty much everyone you've come into contact with here in Lysadere. Even Aqua is wearing the pendant. That is kind of like a cut out stone circle with a vertical line in the middle. And you would have seen this on, everyone you came in contact with. Now, on the wolves that met you just outside the forest, you would have also have noticed on the back of their left hand a similar symbol that was a full circle, a line of a full circle with a vertical line through it. And everyone but Zephyr would have kind of remembered, I'm going to say that the Pact of the Stars did this exact same thing on the back of their hands too. Is you remember that they had like their Pact symbol in the back of their hands. But the stone necklace thing is new. Sorry. All right. Yeah, so y'all would have noticed that coming in. Anything else that y'all want to do in this sitting room before we head over to Jurble and Pixtrin? Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Drink my tea.
The griffin is still sleeping on your lap, Zephyr. You can hear this kind of like soft, almost like a cooing as it's sleeping. So going back over to Jurble and Pixtrin. So Aqua has led you into the room, and you see Sinead just kind of like the back of her, at least, kind of like just keep casting this fire spell with her long white hair and this like loose knot, loose bun. And Aqua says, Sinead. Sinead will do the fire spell like one or two more times and stop and turn and just look at the two of you and then turn back and continue doing the fire spell. Aqua just stands there, and she turns, and you see this kind of very disappointed look on her face, or just kind of a lost look of, see, Sinead, do you remember your friends? And she just keeps casting the fire spell against the wall.
Jurble will take a step or two into the room.
Okay.
Hey, kiddo.
Just roll a d20 for me, Jurble.
I'm not trusting my real die. I'm using D to be on.
That's fickle loyalties.
10.
Okay. You do have an inspiration die, too. So.
Okay, can I...
Sure, yeah.
Does
D10.
that go towards this?
D10, you can use it. I will allow
Assuming... I'll use a real die for the D10.
it. Okay.
8, so 18.
Okay. Jurble, as you say that, you see her. She suddenly stops and turns. And where would you say, I mean, this room is not that large of a room. Maybe about 17 feet in diameter all around. How far did you stop from her? Like 10 feet between you and her?
Yeah.
So she turns and Make a quick perception check for me.
Oh, now I'm conflicted on what die to use. Okay. Oh, that was the wrong die.
Oh no.
It's a 6.
Okay, all right. You can tell that her face looks very serious. But you can see an almost kind of faltering in the look. Like a brief moment of slight confusion. Before it kind of goes back to this kind of blank look on her face. I will give it to you that you can probably kind of tell that her eyes seem a little different, a little less vibrant than they were before. Almost maybe a different color, but it's hard to tell. Maybe it's the lighting in the room. She just kind of looks at you. Is there anything else you want to say or do?
Jurble will, where he is, he's gonna kind of take a knee, get kind of close to eye level with her, and just glad you seem to be doing okay and made it back reunited with your mother.
I remember you. Jurble.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, you see this kind of confliction of emotions on her face. I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you.
I should get back to practicing.
What?
She starts to turn back to the wall.
What are you practicing for?
Fires.
And as Jurble says this, he's just gonna quickly just kind of feel his key.
As you reach up to touch your key, you're kind of lost in the moment. But as you reach up to touch it and kind of become aware of it, you realize that it's hot. Like, burning hot. She casts a fire spell. And another. Just practicing. Do you know any magic?
Not much, but I hope to learn more at some point, and I'll do I'll just make like a little, I don't know, Druid guy could do all sorts of things. I'll make a little cloud or something.
She will glance over at it, Jurble, but then just go back to her fire spell against the wall. And then she will stop and kind of turn towards you and make this kind of flame in her hand, and it starts off small, but it gets larger and larger, and she joins her other hand with it and becomes this kind of like levitating fireball of sorts. And you can see this kind of reflection of, you can feel even from where you're standing the heat from this, and you can see the reflection of the flames in her eyes and kind of bouncing off her skin. And Aqua, picturing beside you, suddenly kind of takes a step forward. Sinead, you might want to put that away. And she kind of looks over in your direction, picturing in Aqua's direction, and then looks back at you, Jurble.
Picture's going to visibly tense up at that moment.
Roll another d20 for me, Jurble, please. Yeah,
Using the real die now.
You can definitely tell that Aqua's tense, picturing as when she stepped forward.
14.
Okay. Even as she's looking at you, Jurble, you can see that the fireball has grown a little bit larger. But she catches your eye. And again, you can see that confliction of facial expressions. And she slowly kind of like cusps her hand over the ball and kind of extinguishes it with this smoke rising from it, and for a moment, you'll almost see her kind of reach out to you, but then pull it back and turn back to the wall and continue doing a fire spell.
Wow. You've got a lot of talent, Sinead. So you didn't need the...
She paused when you said her name.
You didn't need fair weather at all, did you?
She will look over to you, Jurble, again with that kind of blink expression. Have you been to Fairweather?
That's where we met, Sinead.
Right.
Yeah.
I had almost forgotten, I suppose. And she looks back to the wall and continues doing another fire spell.
Remember, we stayed at my friend Renarius's house, his parents' house, and we played board games.
He's a mage, right?
Yeah.
She continues doing some more fire spells, and is Renarius alive?
I suppose, yeah.
Did he come with you?
I'm sure he's around here somewhere. But how are you?
Oof. It depends on who you're asking.
Thought I was asking you, Sinead. Is there someone else here I could be asking?
Do I hear all of this while standing in the doorway?
I mean, yes, you
Because
would.
I'm assuming here that Picturin will... I mean, she's standing there and she's watching everything to make sure that everything's Gucci, right? So...
Yeah.
As soon as... When she says that, her eyes are going to get really big, and then she's just going to get really confused for a second, like a confused look on her face, and then she's just... Jurble.
I'll
I'll glance back and make eye contact with Pixford and just kind of hold up a hand.
She's literally going to raise her hand and she's not going to say a word.
If you're staying there, Jurble, move another d20 for me.
17.
Okay. She will stop again and turn to you. And almost for the first time in this entire conversation, we can call it that, her eyes look normal, like you remember them. And it's almost like a little bit of color has returned to her cheeks. And I don't feel too good.
I'm sorry. Is there anything?
She's going to lean in and take a few steps forward and put her arms around you, Jurble. Your pendant is scalding your skin. Like, it is hotter than you've ever felt it before, to the point to where you're pretty sure it's burning you. As she's leaning against you. Make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Goddamn bugbears just don't listen.
Math. 12.
You not only feel the burning from your pendant, Jurble, but your wound is suddenly just, it feels like it's eating the inside of you. To the point to where you feel lightheaded and you feel like you could just pass out right here. In fact, as she starts to pull away and you stop having that kind of, she is still a girl and it's not that much support, but you stop having that support, you find yourself kind of leaning forward and having to catch yourself with your hands on the floor, on the cold stone floor. Aqua will immediately, Pixren, start stepping forward towards the two. Sinead, Jurble, if you look up at her, she has a couple of tears running down her face and looks completely panicked. I'm sorry.
No. And I'll just gotta. No, it's not your fault, Sinead.
Aqua rushes in at this moment because she was on her way and will kind of put a hand on your shoulder, Jurble, but mostly kind of scoop Sinead back and not really in almost like protecting you from her, it seems. And she'll kind of cup Sinead's face in her hands as she kind of stoops down. It's okay. It's all right. Just maybe you should take a rest. And Sinead will nod and just kind of looking over Aqua's shoulder at you, Jurble, and okay. And Aqua will starting to usher her into another room, and Sinead will turn to you, Jurble, and thank you for visiting.
We'll see each other again soon, Sinead. This wasn't your fault. Remember that.
That she'll turn to Aqua and be like, I just have just have a headache. I don't feel good. And Aqua will take her into another room and close the door and be in there for a couple minutes before she comes back out. And as she's gone, you can see like where Sinead was staying before and throwing that fire spell. Like there's just a huge scorch mark going from floor to ceiling and even on the ceiling a little bit in that area from just the continuous burning. And besides that, like you start looking around the room and you notice other scorch marks or other kind of weird marks on the wall. And notice that this room has been pretty much cleared of furniture. There is a couple of chairs that remain and one like small sofa, but it's just kind of torn apart in areas. Yes. So Aqua will come out in a couple of minutes and close the door behind her softly and quickly kind of step over to you, Jurble. Are you okay? Do you need any kind of looking you over almost like a mother would?
No, I'll get up. I just will probably just need a rest. But it's the wound I mentioned before.
Why would it have to
cure? Can we go back downstairs with the others?
Sure. Yes. And she'll kind of nod at you, Pixrin, as she starts towards the door.
Pixrin's going to stop them for a second, and sheath the sword that she had taken out while all of this was going on. Jurble, do you think you'll be able to walk yourself down the stairs?
Yeah, I was...
Okay, you go do that now. And she's going to turn towards Aqua. How long has
Jurble
she
is
been
not
like
leaving. Jurble is not leaving.
She's just roll her eyes. How long has she been like this?
I told you 2 weeks.
Let's go down and discuss this as a group.
Jurble.
She was fine one day, and then the next, this. It was almost as if waking up changed her.
Just give her like this really... Okay. Fine. Jurble, let's go down. Stairs.
Okay.
I had to correct myself. I'm so sorry.
Aqua will nod and follow the two of you downstairs. So the rest of you, anything new with the Gryphon, Zephyr? Just still petting it? Okay. All right. Anything Tegan or Rhaenyra, anything you have before they come back downstairs?
Nah.
Okay. Tegan?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Yeah, the two of you are just like sipping tea and watching Zephyr creepily pet the Gryphon on his lap.
As Pixrin's gone down the stairs and returning, she's kind of like rubbing her chest because of the whole pendant thing and everything. She's just...
Yes, you two.
Jurble's holding his side.
Yours wouldn't have been as hot, Pixrin, but it was definitely very warm, standing where you were. Jurble, do you look at all where your pendant was?
Yeah, he would have kind of, as go down, kind of check.
It is, you pretty much have to peel it from your skin.
Ooh.
I probably won't mess with it a whole lot till he sits down.
Okay.
No.
And your side, as you start, even from Aqua taking Sinead into the next room, it started feeling better. and it's starting to feel a little bit better as you continue to walk downstairs. I mean, well, of course, the stairs, walking down the stairs kind of hurts it a bit anyways, but once you're downstairs, I mean, it's still there, but it's not hurting you as bad, no. Still feel a little bit lightheaded just from what happened, but... Well,
Aqua, could you sit down, please?
What's up?
Sure.
No.
Uh,
As she sits down, I'll kind of like make sure I have everyone's eye contact,
yeah.
and then I'll start peeling the pendant off my burnt skin, so they know.
Yeah. Yeah. Smart. Aqua sits down and just kind of looks up at you, Jurble. I'm sorry.
And she's just gonna stay standing and just cross her arms and just have the most like just fed up, kind of mean look on her face, just kind of like furrowing her brow and everything, and just like grr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's really upset by all of this.
So you said Sinead just woke up one day. Has she been anywhere past 2 weeks?
No, she's been here since they brought her over here, which was a month ago, maybe.
Has she been out in the forest outside Lysadere at all?
No, the forest, we don't go outside the town much unless, we have specific people that go out when we need supplies and for trade and for selling, but we don't, we have gardens here. We have pretty much what we need. I haven't traveled. She hasn't traveled. They won't allow the children to play in the woods or go outside the area without adults with them.
That's good.
I've talked to other parents that there are other mage, children with mage abilities here, and none of them have experienced the same.
A lot's happened since we last saw you. We last saw Sinead. You've never heard of the name Shiga before, have you?
No. Who's that?
Shiga are the restless spirits of vengeful mages from the Mage War, or that we are part of an organization now called the Stormlight Committee.
Torchlight.
Torchlight, yeah, Stormlight. That's something different.
The Torchlight Archives.
Torchlight, and our goal is to stop the Shiga, but as I'm sure you're aware, vengeful mages are not exactly in short supply.
Yes.
There's still a lot we don't know. But what we do know is that the Shiga like to use vulnerable mages and I have no doubt in my mind that they have taken hold of Sinead somehow.
Do all mage spirits become these Shiga?
We don't. I don't think we know for certain, but I think from what we've seen, if anyone has the heart so set on vengeance or revenge or dark thoughts like that, they draw the Shiga to them. I would like to think that not all mage spirits are corrupted, but
Is there a way to tell which ones are not corrupted and which ones are?
Well, we can tell when we are around Shiga presence. We have these pendants that grow warm around Shiga, and kind of gesture to his burnt chest.
That happened when you were with Sinead.
Yes. Also, the wound I mentioned earlier, why we're here. The dagger I was stabbed with seems to have been somehow poisoned with a form of Shiga, and that's why my wound doesn't heal, and the wound also acts up around the presence of Shiga. That's why I collapsed like I did when but Sinead's still in there. I hope you saw that there at the end.
I see it sometimes myself. How do we fix it? I mean, you
Look
have
at-
necklaces.
We're trying to figure that out.
Unfortunately, when we joined the committee, there's still a lot we don't know. But that's another reason we were searching for this Cullen Grinthora. He was part of the Torchlight Committee, right? Like he was one of the early members. That's what we knew, right? No?
Z. He's connected to Z.
Yeah, but Aurelius mentioned him to us before.
Mentioned him. I don't think that he said he was a founding member.
That's why we need to find this Cullen Grinthora, because we believe he has information about the Shiga.
But why just Sinead? Why not the other mages in this village? What is different about her that they don't...
It's most likely from what happened in Fairweather. I don't know how much you know of what all happened there.
She never... I mean, she talked about Fairweather, but only in a good sense. Only that is a little bit fuzzy, but she did say that the group of you convinced her that they were bad, but she was always confused by it, I will say.
Joe will kind of glance at Onarius. The college in Fairweather, you know of the crystals they implant in the mages, correct?
Yes, right.
They use that to kind of control them, and
So is it the college controlling them, or is it the mage spirits?
they're still. We didn't know about the big spirits then, but we do know that Fairweather was also connected with Baron. And they were using mages to keep the city afloat, using them as a energy source until they died, and then they just replaced them with other mages.
It's horrible. Atrocity.
It was.
What is this college doing now?
We haven't been back, but there's no reason to believe that they aren't still doing what they're doing.
They have to pay. They have to answer for these crimes that they're committing.
Yes.
And the group of you will kind of notice, just an interjection, will notice kind of that ruler attitude coming back from before.
I need more clarification.
Yes.
Well, so do I.
They... I agree, but this goes much bigger than just the college and Baron.
Look, no offense to the group of you. I'm sure you have done what you could. But I feel like that they need to be taught a lesson.
I truly understand what you're feeling, but what you're feeling now is vengeance. And that is what attracts these spirits.
I'll just see one of them try to possess me. I am not... I am a leader. I know some mage abilities, but not a lot. And people that protected me that did. I swear to you now, I will make sure that they feel something.
I am in no position to tell or suggest you your course of action. That is up to you. But just know that the Shiga, the college, the floating cities, the invading bugbear army, Shiga is what is behind the whole thing.
Well, that is understood, but I cannot fight floaty mage spirits that I cannot see.
Well, then help us figure out how to destroy the Sheikah.
I have not a clue. I don't know. As I said, I don't know that much about magic. My daughter is beginning to have more ability than I. I don't know how I can help. If you can think of a way that I can, I will try. But I also understood, but I also still feel like the college needs to pay.
And I agree.
Or at least find out what they're still doing. It's hard to tell. I've lost all of my, if you want, I mean, so I'll go ahead and pause here. Zephyr, are you going to do something? Are you going to like leave the room, or do something right here in the room?
Just kind of right here.
Okay. Okay. What are you wanting to do?
I need to figure out exactly how to
Deal the griffin.
I'll set the griffin gently
Suddenly
down.
Zephyr eats the griffin.
You can eat that. Literally just gonna kind of like look down at the sword. We should talk.
Okay. In your mind, Zephyr, and the rest of you are just seeing Zephyr just talk to his side. In your mind, Zephyr, and also his sword glows a bit. It always kind of maintains you guys would have noticed that it maintains kind of this like faint bluish glow. Now it's glowing with a little bit more intensity. Zephyr, in your mind, you hear one of the familiar voices reach out. Yes. How can I help you, Master?
Shiga, mage spirits.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to be more clear.
Rude.
Alright.
Sinead. Shiga. Mage spirits. Mages especially susceptible. Angry?
Are you talking about the strong mage spirit in this house?
That's great.
Yes, it's angry. We're all angry. I'm stuck inside of a sword. You don't think I'm angry?
Special side effects. Help? Strong mage spirit in house.
What was this? Okay. Interesting. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. Suddenly, a unfamiliar male voice reaches through, seemingly male. You think we would help?
Worst case scenario.
Why would we help something that's only helping us?
Thank you for facilitating that meeting. It was really helpful.
You think you can just turn us on and off? We're always here, Zephyr. Always.
Not the alcoholic bird.
Keep fooling yourself.
Things are a little weird here. Seems to be working. What's up?
Suddenly a familiar female voice chimes in. Hey.
What's up?
I don't know what you want them to help with. They're not going to help you. You should just stop trying.
I want to help you.
It's better. It's better if you just stop.
Better if I just stop?
Yes.
I need more clarification.
I don't know what more clarification you need, Bird. Who do you think that we are?
Chiga.
That's what some call us, sure.
Do you need her?
We kind of need all of them. And I'm sorry to say, you seem earnest and all, but we're not giving them up without a fight.
We can't right now. I want to help you. Quite the looker.
You want to help us.
We
Then
should talk.
you will stop them from stopping the one upstairs. We've been mistreated. We've been put inside of objects. We've been killed. We've been snuffed into the ground. But not anymore. Do you want to talk to us? We can have conversations, but it's not going to change. Unless you want to help us. Really help us.
Very powerful weapons.
Yes, we are.
Takes the fear right out. Better if you just stop. Just follow me.
The previous male voice comes back. We could take the fear out, you know.
Rad.
Just let us know if you truly want to help. We can
Must
help.
defend yourself.
Yes, we do. And we will. And it'd really help if you helped us.
What's up?
You know what we need.
No, I can't say I do.
We need to multiply. We need these people that we've taken. And there have been many.
Is genocide spelled with a J?
No, it's not bird.
I don't know what to say to that.
So if you want to help us, you can stop anyone that stands in our way.
Good night. I'll see you in the morning.
We're always here. And it goes quiet.
King, you're pregnant.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me, Zephyr.
$18.
Okay. Okay. Even though, I mean, I'm not going to say what you felt because I don't know as a character, but even whatever you felt after that conversation, you still feel like the sword belongs to you. This is a good thing. And it could be useful. Maybe you could be useful. That's it.
I was looking at the rest of the group who just watched me have a very long, drawn-out conversation with an inanimate object.
I thought most of that was in his head.
What? Well, I mean, yeah, they answered.
Well,
in
obviously
his head.
The sword was in his
right,
head,
the
but
sword
I thought,
answered in his head, but no.
You got the whole one-sided bit of that conversation, so zero context for all of those Kenku responses.
Aqua is just kind of sitting there staring. As you had that conversation, Zephyr, you look down and the griffin is gone.
Thank goodness.
The griffin, the griffin is almost cowering under Aqua's chair. Oh, poor thing. And Aqua will scoop it up and just kind of pet it mindlessly. What was that?
Very strong spirit. Angry.
Aqua's going to stand up and look at you, Jurble. Is your friend possessed by one of these mage spirits as well?
Sinead.
No, I don't.
Very powerful spirit. Angry.
He recently acquired some questionable items.
Multiplying. Taking. Multiplying.
No offense to you, Jurble, but I would rather your friend not be here right now. I'm sorry, but you can stay. The rest of you can, but I'm sorry, Zephyr. Not with these circumstances.
Seriously? Considering that she up there could about killed Jurble and me? And you?
If he can make it worse, I don't want him here to make it worse.
They're just his weapons. And so far we haven't had an issue with them.
He just called out her name and mentioned the spirit. And said it was multiplying. Did you not hear?
I ain't deaf. But at least he ain't throwing fireballs up the goddamn wall.
I'm not saying that you are. If
he's leaving, I'm leaving. Come on, Zephyr. Let's go.
Not the alcoholic bird.
Yes, the alcoholic bird. I'll buy you more alcohol. Come on. Let's go.
They can meet you outside.
Yep.
Things are
Bye.
a little weird here. That's not what happened.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Excuse me. I'm sensitive. We could certainly go and say goodbye. I think a note would suffice. And I'll just scribble
Okay.
for a piece of paper and
Just like looking at him like, okay.
scribble down a more coherent summary of the conversation with the spirit and the spirits and the weapons, and hand it to Jurble. And then I'll look at Aqua. I want to help you.
I'll read it out. I'll read it out loud. He says,
Like, what exactly are you putting in the note, Zephyr?
That Sinead is indeed possessed by a very strong mage spirit. Yes, it is Shiga.
Okay.
Yes, the blah, 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 blah. You know, very angry, very dangerous, trying to turn Sinead to their cause, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Not going into any of the conversation, the part
Not any of
to
the
you specifically.
invitation.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, that confirms it then, if that's true. Thank you, Bert.
Excuse me, I'm sensitive. And I'll I'll leave.
Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face. Piction's gonna follow behind him and not say anything. Yeah, she's just gonna.
Aqua will look to you, Jurble. I hope you understand. I just I can't take chances.
No, of course, I understand, but also following that up, not taking chances. I agree that the college needs to pay, but right now, Sinead needs you. If something were to happen to you, that could very much be the tipping point for her.
Understood.
I think the best thing you can do is just to be here for her. And just take hope in the moments you can see Sinead break through.
So I'm just supposed to stand here and watch her leave me.
No. I look around at Redarius and Tegan because it read. It
And
matched.
Ren's there.
Yeah. Maybe if we can find some answers soon, I can have a better answer for you. This Calum Carnthorum, but the Verlaine who brought us in, she mentioned that they believe there's good spirits inside the city protecting you.
Yes. I've seen them do the rituals to try and summon them. The humans.
Humans. Is this
at the temple you mentioned earlier?
No, the two of them. Well, one of them's a human. I'm sorry. The other one is, I believe, a half orc. They work out in the main square usually. They draw their circle and try to summon the good ones to try and speak to them, and he seems like he knows what he's doing, and but he was the one I think that kind of turned everyone on the idea that the good ones are here helping.
Oh. What's his name?
John?
Zephyr's not here. Crap.
And I believe the other one, the half orc, is Larek, I think.
Oh. Do you think we could be able to speak with him?
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose if you just, yes, I haven't really spoken with them directly myself. I've just seen them working out in the market, but I believe that Javaca has spoken with them personally, so I'm sure that she could probably take you to them.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
How long have they been in Lysadere?
Oh, probably arrived here, gosh, probably a little after the time. They've been here about a week and a half, I think.
You said a week and a half?
About a week and a half, yes.
And this is the first time they've been here?
Yes, yeah, came through.
So they convinced everyone about the good spirits
Well,
in a week and a half?
I think it was already something that some people were saying, but they kind of helped.
Oh.
The whole summoning and, he hasn't had too many successful ones that I've heard, but I believe once or twice he was able to successfully summon a few good spirits, mage spirits.
Okay.
Mostly to try to commune not only about safety with the village and with Lysadere, but also, I don't know, someone heard going on about time devices and...
Jurble will kind of slowly stand up. I think it'd probably be good if we could meet Javaca, you said?
Yes, I can take you to Javaca. No problem. Sinead is okay resting in her room. I will walk you there.
All right. Thank you.
She's going to step up to you, Jurble, and a little bit closer and put both hands on your shoulders. I'm sorry. Hopefully someday you can visit her and she will be the same.
Thank you. But
she responded to you more than I've seen her respond to anyone. That meant something to see.
I'm glad, and I'm just glad you two are together, and we'll get an answer.
She'll kind of look from you to Tegan and Rhaenyra. You sure about your friend that he's safe?
I believe so. He has his quirks, but right now he probably knows more about Torchlight Shiga than the rest of us. He was already a part of the organization when we were brought on, or at least familiar with it.
And he's defended us in battle a number of times.
Okay. Just be careful. She's looking at you specifically, Jurble.
Thank you.
Well, let's walk to Javaca. Be a short walk. Just a few. Just gotta take a couple of stairwells up a couple of floors.
As we're going down, I'm gonna kind of like stay back a little bit till I'm next to Redarius and just be like, maybe you don't go see Sinead anytime soon. The Shiga kind of reacted to your name, so just be wary. Hold on to that pendant. You'll be fine. You're strong. And I'll kind of slap on the back.
That's not very reassuring, Jurble.
Well, I mean, at least you're not the one with the Shiga stab. And I'll just point at my wound.
You're right. It could be worse.
Yeah. So, do we see Zephyr and Picturing out there?
Yes, when you exit out. I mean, I don't know. Zephyr and Picturing, did you stay outside the room, or where did y'all go? I mean, the outside in the hall.
I'm just following wherever he went.
Yeah, not far, just right outside.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you would see them as you exit.
We're heading to this temple. What was the temple of?
Oh,
the temple to?
Elistra. Elistra.
Wait, what? Why?
Because that's where we're meeting the person that can help us.
Javaca might know.
Yes, it's
What
where
the
we're
word
meeting
said.
Javaca. She resides there. Priestess. Sword Dancer. Let's go.
Okay.
And as you follow Aqua down the hall to meet up with Javaca, who can possibly take you to this mysterious John.
John Jacob. Sorry.
That's where we will end tonight's session. So thank you, chat. Thank you, players. What a night. Oh, what a night. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, totally stepped into it. So, if you're unaware, you've been watching The Forsaken, which is every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We play a lot of D&D on this channel. Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We have D&D 5e content, as well as on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time with Tower Dreams. That's DM'd by Andrew. That will be off this week, but we'll be back the week following. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time is Dungeon Craft with Steph and Vic, where myself and Victoria work on dungeon tiles, we paint minis. And then on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time is Mad Art with Steph, where I, Steph, work on some fan art for the different campaigns in this channel. Fun times. We just had a big vote on Discord, so all kinds of stuff happening there, and more to come in the future, I can say. And also we have a Patreon, so if you're looking to support the channel, great way to do so. Head on over there. We have a few tiers there where you get all kinds of cool stuff. We get more back, so it's a preferred way to support if you're looking to do so. Yeah, and then also don't forget that in a couple of weeks is our year anniversary, and might do a giveaway, I'm thinking. So hype that. And let me see who is streaming right now, so that way maybe we can head on over to someone and give them some attention. we usually, yeah, let's head over to Behold Roleplay, which I think that we usually head into at this time. So let's see here. So give them a call in the chat. They're playing some awesome TTRPG stuff over there. So stay safe, and we'll see y'all next week with some more interesting things happening in Lysadere. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.